we were talking of CVR, you mentioned a lot of things you learned from him. Then you talked of KSN. But then what happened? How did you just explained how you entered fine arts. But then after that you became secretary. Then what happened? I think you have been there for last 35 to 37 years.
From the day I stepped in, my mind is filled with fine arts society. I cannot, however I may try, I cannot disassociate myself. There have been challenges in between, off and on, but somehow I have always gone back and ensure that I am in the midst of things. But I must say that out of the 38 years now, generally I have been on the driving seat. As much as I have given to fine arts has given to me. Yes. Because when your personality is there as a institution head, it automatically gets respect. And it's a large association. Imagine a 60,000 square feet building with over 2,000 members, 2,000 students, 50 permanent faculty members.
Sorry, 1 second. All this that you are mentioning, was it there before you entered?
No, let me tell you this story. This is as on today. As to why is it so important to relive that entire history. So 60,000 square feet, 2,000 members, 2,000 students, almost 45 permanent faculty members, a very active and an aggressive board of trustees, a very efficient managing committee. All this is visible today. If I say that it will be a property worth almost about 200 crores today. But it took a lot of efforts and energy to bring it to this level. And I would unabashedly say that I'm fairly responsible for this kind of a diametrical growth. Those days it was only Shanmukhananda which was viewed as a premier cultural institution, which still it is under the leadership of Shankar, Dr. Shankar. But Fine Arts Society was always in the making because there was no experience. Members were new, they kept changing, the complexities kept changing. Initially it was a question of liquidating all your debts and liabilities and investment in terms of capital, equipments like sound, light, and curtains and seats and spaces, instruments. Today I would even say that we are possibly the largest library of musical instruments. Almost 500 instruments being played and maintained on a regular basis. And I would credit myself for many of these innovative ideas. When I joined, it was just a raw building, only the hardware, there was nothing else, there were no ideas. And there were the committed volunteers who had given their entire life to Fine Arts Society. That generation faded away because they had all become old by that time. So I stepped in, I would say, at the right time. And it is all God's will, it's not that we are planning. So I would say that I was the youngest to step in at that level. And even today, I am the youngest in the present situation also as a trustee. But it was very exciting at that time because my life suddenly had opened several avenues, several opportunities, several new possibilities because you had an institution under your charge. And when I joined as a secretary, I gradually grew up in terms of importance in the overall scheme of things. When C.V. Radhakrishnan ceased to be the chairman, Mr. Ramadurai became the chairman. And there was a constant growth. Then from secretary I became a vice president. From vice president I became a president. And during the president's term I was extremely active. I think I repeated being the president almost 3 tenures. And during those 3 tenures, a lot of new innovative ideas were brought in, both in terms of artists, in terms of ideas, in terms of programs. And we slowly inducted the Hindustani stream because originally the institution evolved out of a South Indian community. But I realized that since we are located in Mumbai, you can't run away from Hindustani and the other things which are happening around us in this society. So in my early days, I always wanted to bring in Hindustani. Initially, there was a little reservations. Why should we have Hindustani and all that? And there were some aggressive moments when I was termed as a Hindustani man and all that. But I lived through that and faced all the criticism because it was all in the interest of the institution. Because I realized that the music school, which today has 2,000 students, would not have been possible unless we inducted the Hindustani faculties. Because Carnatic, while we are very dedicated to Carnatic, but it has limitations. You can have Carnatic vocal, or violin or mridangam, and beyond that what? So if you have to have a volume, if you have to have a reasonably good hiring of the facility, you must look out at other opportunities around you. So I was very keen that Hindustani should be included. Like I said, there was a lot of objection to that. But slowly people realized that it made sense, because when we went out to the corporates for sponsorship and help and all that, they are all non-South Indians. So to connect with them, you needed an excuse. So we created this new concept of annual festival, which till then was very Carnatic centric. We slowly changed it and made it cosmopolitan. So then you can draw a much bigger crowd, number one. Number two, in terms of revenue, you are able to attract sponsorship from large corporates for a non-South Indian program. And we had the facility, we had the complex. And I must say that K.S. Neelakandan was always with my ideas, and he always handheld me in terms of executing those ideas. And he also realized we had a lot of close interaction, and we shared a lot of notes. So it went on from being a hardcore South Indian institution to a little more inclusive kind of an institution. We had a lot of programs. The occupancy improved, the student strength improved, the general visibility in the society also improved substantially, because it's a large complex. So people started coming. We had ghazals, we had dances, we had all kinds of things. And I still remember there was a show where we could proudly say that the entire 1,300 seats were taken, and we could put a houseful board outside. This happened in one of the festivals. I don't recall whether it was a Hema Malini dance or Pankaj Uda's ghazal or something like that. And we put a houseful board outside. And that was a proud moment for all of us, that such a large edifice, such a large iconic building, today we have come of age and we could put a houseful board outside. It was very fulfilling. We had, in fact, when the auditorium was launched at the hands of Dr. P.C. Alexander, the then governor of Bombay, we had a very close interaction with the Raj Bhavan, thanks to K.S. Neelakandanji. He always ensured that whatever you do, you always include some big names from the outside society. So he created a board of patrons. We had Dr. Chidambaram, who was very integral to our growth. Justice Sri Krishna, who was very integral to the growth, Justice Radha Krishna, and several other corporate luminaries. All the governors of Reserve Bank were always involved. And whenever we had any programming, we always kept them informed. And KSN had this attitude of creating a mailing list. And any important program, he will always, whether they come or not is secondary. We always involved them in the overall, and we invited them to give their ideas. And if they come, we treat them, we take them to the backstage, give them refreshments and all that, make them feel very comfortable. I still remember there was an occasion when we had invited Pandit Shivkumar Sharmaji, and we had also invited Rajshri Birlaji, the chairperson of the Birla Group, Aditya Birla Group. And when both of them came, it gave me an opportunity to tell them what we are, this size. Both of them appreciated. And then we started a new bracket called Guru Purnima. And it gave me an excellent opportunity to bring the biggest names of the country into that Guru Purnima bracket, where we would felicitate them. So all the big names, starting from Kishori Amonkar ji, Bhimsen Joshi ji, Shivkumar Sharma ji, Hari Prasad Chaurasia ji, Pandit Jasraj ji. So all these artists came and performed for us. Kishori Amonkar, Prabhat Ray ji. So all these, Dr. Rajam, they have all come and performed for the Fine Arts Society, and almost all of them were very impressed with what we are doing. the kind of inclusive nature that we had. Because there are institutions handled by a set of people, and beyond that it doesn't come out. Whereas we always realized that we must be inclusive. We made people very comfortable, we made it very homely, and we always listened to others. We always took their ideas, we always appreciated the ideas, the youngsters. Then we launched something called Yuva Shakti at the hands of, now he is a very big name, Shankar Mahadevanji. So Shankar Mahadevan came to launch our Yuva Shakti. And it was such a grand show. Then I told him that we would expect him to start from bhajans and then move on to slight classical, then thoda ghazal, then Bollywood hits. He said, no, this bracket will not work. But believe me, it worked wonderfully. There was an overflowing audience to such an extent that I had to request almost 100 children to sit on the stage with him. I still have those photographs. And it was an amazing day when we launched that Yuva Shakti. But it also had challenges. Because every big thing that you conceive, something can go wrong at the wrong at the last moment, and it can create an embarrassment for you. I remember Yuva Shakti when it was being launched, we had made a big banner, Yuva Shakti, and we had put some children on the left hand side of the stage, and then slowly unfurl it just before Shankar Mahadevan walks onto the stage. All this to create an excitement. Just 1 minute before, I was busy with something else, and somebody sent those children from the left hand side to the right hand side. And imagine if it is unfurled from the right hand side, it would be,
right hand to left hand.
And the audience would laugh.
Yes.
So after clearing this thing, I went back to the stage to do this, and suddenly, to my horror, I realized that the children have shifted this way. So I had to keep the curtain closed, again shift them back here. And at that time, you can't indulge yourself into an argument.
Correct.
Because the person who shifted didn't realize. They did it in good faith,
yes.
But it was completely wrong. So when you change it within a split second, somebody is going to get hurt. But that is one thing I've always faced in Fine Art Society. I never meant anything bad, but people always misunderstood me because I didn't have the time to correct it. Very often I would be found to be, very demanding or very, wanting to do everything myself. But within me, I realized that that is the only way it can be done. If you delegate your responsibilities, not everybody is as smart as you expect them to be. So things will not fall in line. That punch will get lost.
One mistake like this and the whole show will go for a toss.
Absolutely. So I had to do that correction. And this was always bothering me because I hurt people without wanting to, but the hurt is done. For example, I remember when Pandit Hariprasad Chaurasia was going to be felicitated, I asked somebody to sing a prayer song. And they had prepared a prayer song which was about 10-12 minutes, which is not possible because the whole audience is assembled there and you can't have children singing for 15 minutes. So I had to cut it short and just make it 3 minutes. So somebody got very hurt because somebody in the faculty had taken that pains, but they don't realize that certain things cannot happen on a stage. It is okay in a different kind of a gathering, but when you have corporate heads and big people, it has to be very, very, very compact. It has to be within that punch. Yes. So this always created a problem for me. There was an occasion when Kishori Tai was to sing and we were to felicitate her. And just when the curtain opened and the announcements were being made, the citation that was to be given to Kishori Tai, we found that the glass was broken. So what do you do? So immediately I had to find a solution. So I closed that, put this thing. The announcements were made, citation was read with a copy, and then the citation frame as it is with the knot was given to her, and under the pretext of keeping it inside, I brought it back, rushed somebody to the glass shop, and in the meantime she is performing, and get it redone and bring it and give it. Nobody knows. Only me and Ravi, Pieces Ravi, who was an integral part of all our PR exercise. Only two of us knew that this has happened. So such testing moments. One day I suddenly found that we are announcing that please switch off your mobiles, and my own mobile rings up. These kind of demanding situations on this stage, and now I've got used to it. Any situation, I have now got that kind of a confidence that I can handle it. Once we had a situation where we had S.V. Shekhar's Tamil drama, and as things would have it, the train did not reach, and the audience have already assembled. Imagine 1300 people who want to see a Tamil drama, and the actors have not paid for it, and the artists have not come. So we didn't know what to do. Then I requested S.V. Shekharji to just speak, and he is very humorous. As a single person, he can speak, and postpone the drama to the next day morning. So the audience had to come back the next day morning. But S.V. Shekhar spoke so beautifully that he kept the whole audience going for 2 hours. And ultimately, when he said, no, this drama actually would happen tomorrow morning, they just couldn't believe their eyes. But believe me, next day the same crowd came.
Yes.
And then there was another instance when I think it was Dr. Yeshudas performing on the stage and the power went off.
Yeah.
So those days, Bombay, while it was reasonably good, but there were power outages. And in an auditorium, we didn't have a backup. We didn't have the money to have a generator and things like that. So when it went off, what do? There are 1300 people sitting in front and your mics don't work. Fortunately, I have a loud voice. So I went and took care of the situation, made people say some Lalita Navaratna Malaya or Mahishasura Mardini Stotram, and managed for about 20-25 minutes, and the lights came on. And then people come and compliment me that you did it wonderfully, you handled the situation. Like this, there are several. Somebody is fighting, somebody is creating a scene in the audience, so you have to go and take care. Once we had a situation when the censor board people made a surprise raid, and they found that the seats reserved for them is not kept blank. And they made a commotion, and it was an important program for us. So you had to go there and satisfy them, handle them tactfully, and give their due, give them respect. So like this, almost during those days, all kinds of issues. In fact, once I remember, night 11 o'clock, somebody rings up and says, "Saab, pura auditorium pani bhar gaya." And I think you would recall that situation. I took Lalu, called him, went to the whole thing. It was pouring from the balcony. What had happened is the side retention chambers in the balcony, somebody had put sutli, and all those got clogged. And that entire water, it was pouring heavily, and the whole thing flowed into the balcony, and from the balcony to the main floor, and the whole auditorium. Will you believe, with a broomstick, I have cleared it with my own hands.
Yes.
So this is the kind of situation that, because at night 12 o'clock, whom do you go and ask for help?
Yes.
But at the same time, you are responsible. And there was another incident like this. Night around 10 o'clock, I was coming through and I found inappropriate banners put inside the complex. And when I inquired, I was told that some kind of a film shooting is going on. Now, film shooting inside is okay. But outside, inappropriate banners, which is not in keeping with our culture and our kind of South Indian psyche, people were giving it a dirty look.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what to do. So I drove to CVR's house, woke him up at 10 o'clock in the night and told him such a situation is there. So what do you want to be done? But in the meantime, we have taken the money. We have hired the facility, so somebody is doing that in a legal manner. So then he came back with me in the car, saw all that, and went inside and stopped the recording. And said that whatever you have paid for is only for your inside. You can't put these banners outside. And we handled that situation. So like this, n number of cases, somebody has lost some laptop, so you have to find a way to trace it, have a good connect with the police. I must tell you one funny incident. We had a good connect with the Raj Bhavan, the governor's house. Dr. S.M. Krishna was the governor then. He has attended many programs in Finance Society. So one day we had Sudha Raghunathan performing a Carnatic concert. 20 minutes before the concert, I get a call from the governor's house, and S.M. Krishna ji himself is talking, and he said, "Ganesh, I'm coming to attend the concert." I didn't know what to say, because governor meant protocol. He is the first citizen of the state. I didn't know how it should be handled in just 20 minutes. Very strict protocol. They in fact sent the dog squad and all that. So I said, "Sir, we have not prepared anything." He said, "No, don't worry, I'm just coming as a Rasika." He might say it. It's a big band, but we has to be in place. And he disconnects, and next call from the police commissioner that Ganesh Kumar, you never told us that the governor is coming to your this thing. So I have to tell him, sorry, even I didn't know. He just called up, and we run helter-skelter. Somehow the whole thing is done, and we receive him at the entrance. He comes, and so I thought we must tell the audience that Governor sir has come, and we must felicitate him. So I go to the stage, make the announcements, and invite him to the stage. He says, "No, I will not come to this stage." And so I had to kind of go down and hand over the bouquet. And in that melee, I forgot what I was telling. And I made a very casual remark of suggesting that how wonderful it will be that the South Indian audience is taken to Raj Bhavan for a Carnatic event or something like that. Everybody laughed. But as I finished it, I realized that I have committed a blunder, because you can't treat governor so casually. You can't make such casual remarks. Because it does not fit in line with the. And as I turned back, my trustees took me to task. They said, "How dare you make such statements on the." But I just made it in the heat of the moment, and I'm still living in that 20-minute gap. So I have not come back to normalcy. So suddenly I feel very guilty. But of course, he did not mind. He just smiled it off, and he was the same self with me afterwards also. But I felt that I've done a blunder today, and I was feeling very low for the next 1 or 2 days. Suddenly there was a note from Raj Bhavan, "GK, I liked your idea. Can we discuss?" I rushed to KSN's house and I said, "This is a note which has come from Raj Bhavan. What do we do?" He said, "Let us go to Raj Bhavan." So both of us went. We got a royal treatment there, and he said, "What was in your mind?" So I said, "Sir, I'm sorry, first of all, my apologies that I made such a casual statement. But yes, I did mean that if the middle class families, none of them would have ever seen Raj Bhavan."
You're not allowed.
No, it's such a grandeur, it's such a big thing. Nobody would even venture on, and it is in one corner of the city. So I just felt how wonderful it will be that they can be transported here. He said, "Fine, do it. Suggest 3-4 artists to me. I'll pick which is appropriate, and go ahead and do it." So I said, "Fine." So me and KS, when we were floating in cloud 9, we achieved something. We came back to the board and announced to the board of trustees. I remember, I think Mr. Ramadurai was the chairman then. Everybody was diffident because they said, "This is too big a plunge. It is okay that you are doing the program in the Finance Society, but how would you go and do it in Raj Bhavan? It doesn't happen that way."
And transporting so many, more.
No, transporting, very organizing, because it's not your premises.
Yes.
You don't know whether it will work. And if we cut a sorry figure,
Yeah.
so a lot of discussions took place, and I still remember Mr. Ramadurai even refused to sign the invitation with me as a president. He said, "No, I will not sign with Ganesh Kumar, because he has taken a risk which is not in line with our image." To me, it didn't matter, because I'm young, so it doesn't matter whether he refuses to sign with me. But it did happen. Then the governor had arranged 2 programs. So the first day was Pandit Jasraj. So me and Neelakant were also invited. So me and KSN go to that program, and we find to our horror that has been arranged on the lawns facing the sea. Now in Bombay, the wind is quite strong,
Yes.
and if a wind hits you, a singer cannot sing.
And in that
It'll-
place is inside the sea, actually.
Yeah, jutting inside the sea. So I realized that Pandit Jasraj was unable to sing, and he sang for about 20-25 minutes and then closed the program. Now the general crowd was okay. General crowd thought that maybe he has ended the program, but I knew that he ended it because he was unable to sing.
True.
Because I am a musician, so I know how difficult it is to face the wind and sing. So I said, if the same thing happens to Sudhara Gunathan tomorrow, how will it happen? It will become a flop. Because she is also prepared. She is coming all the way from Madras to perform, and she was almost on the top, one of the best performers in the country. So I had sudden tension. I started perspiring, and I went to him to talk to him, but I was not allowed. They cordoned me off. But he realized that I was wanting to talk to him, so from there he gesticulated, no, allow him to come. Then I went close to him and I said, "Sir, we cannot do the program here." So he had a shock on his face and he said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Sir, the wind will not allow the program. You have to have it in a closed place, a closed venue." Then he looked at the ADC. The ADC was furious. First of all, he was so upset that I was allowed to break the cordon, and I was suggesting something that is just not possible. So ADC said, "No sir, everything, all arrangements are made here." I said, "Sorry sir, it will not happen here." I took the courage, and immediately he told the ADC, "Okay fine, you do whatever that he wants and settle it," and he walked off. So I had to now pick up a fight with the ADC. ADC said, "Gentlemen, to come and teach us what should be done, what should not be done." I said, "1 minute. He has given us the task. So we have to fulfill the task, and it cannot happen here." So he said, "What do you mean?" He said, "It has to be done inside the Raj Bhavan, the hall that you have, Darbar Hall." So he said, "No, Darbar Hall does not have the facility." I said, "We'll create the facility." He said, "What do you mean?" I said, "We'll bring our audio, we'll bring our lights, we'll bring our stage." He said, "Are you serious?" I said, "Yes." And I looked at KSN. Now KSN didn't know what to say, yes or no. But KSN, I must confess, always supported me in whatever I took the plunge.
Correct.
He knew I meant well. And he knew that somehow I'll get away with it. So KSN nodded his head and I told him, yes, I will do. Believe me, KSN overnight made Ravi go hell to heaven to hell. I don't know what. And next day by afternoon, the stage was set inside the Darbar Hall.
Along with the lights.
Everything spick and span, and all the corporate VIPs were invited. And as the program would start,
That is the time you also took the busload of people.
I'm coming to that. So we had transported about 300 members in various buses. They were all brought, they were parked there, and the Darbar hall was full. What a fantastic sight it was for me. I had tears in my eyes that something that I had conceived, dreamt, is happening.
Actually came out of as a blunder.
Fructified, yeah, it was a blunder actually. So after making all this arrangement, I run here and there, take care of Sudharakta, take care of the sound, take care of this, that, and I enter, I find that all the seats are taken. I have no place to sit. Now, I was the president, and of course my responsibility was KSN charted out who should do what, and he had put my name in the last to propose the vote of thanks as the president. So he made somebody else make the announcement. So from that point of view, it was all set. But where do I sit? And believe me, the governor Saab called me and he made me sit next to him. And I said, "Sir, I can't sit here." He said, "No, I want to know all the ragas and all that, so sit here and tell me." It's a prized possession that I'm sitting with the governor and explaining everything to him. So I sit there, throughout the program happens. Sudhara, she sings wonderfully, everybody is happy, and just then my name is called out to propose the vote of thanks. And I go there and I chant the Pasayadan. Ata Vishwatmake Deve Tene Vakayaki Toshave Tosh, the full thing. So people are giving me dirty looks. I mean, Sudhara Gunathan, Darbar Hall, Pasayadan, just didn't make sense. He claims to be the president of this institution. But the governor was listening to me carefully. And just as I was concluding, I had to say, why did I do it? So then I say, on the same day, at the same time, from the same stage, Lata Mangeshkar sang the same Pasayadan when Maharashtra state was formed on that day, in the presence of Jawaharlal Nehru, Gulzari Nanda, Y.B. Chavanji, all the big people, and everybody clapped. So as I finished and came down to the governor, he hugged me and he asked me, "Why? How did you know this?" So I told him, "Sir, you had given me a coffee table book and I read it and it is mentioned in that." And he was so thrilled. So that was a testing. Then we had the food festival. Everybody had to, and he had arranged for some South Indian dinner and all that. So it was a wonderful evening. So as we finished and we came back, believe me, I really felt on the top of the world, and I realized that some ordinary mess somewhere has allowed me to reach this level. From that day onwards, I still maintain the connect with the Raj Bhavan. So Fine Arts Society enabled me not only with the dignitaries like that, even the corporate heads like Shyamala Gopinathji, the Deputy Governor of Reserve Bank of India, Shakti Kanta Das ji, the Governor of Reserve Bank of India, Chairman of various companies, Rajshri Birla ji, the great, the corporate chairman of CMDs of various LIC, New India Assurance. I had a one-to-one connect with them. Those were the days when we always went to the corporates seeking help for the Indradhanush festival. And I must compliment our Bharatan, Gigi Bharatan, who always managed to get a time. He was a very elderly person, very affable looking. So people always liked him. He's still. So he somehow manages to play that trick every time. And of course, once you go for the meeting, I will take charge and speak about fine arts and all that and make them feel very satisfied, and everybody would help us and all that. But that opening of the door was always Gigi Bharatan's responsibility, and he made it, even today he does it. So then I had that ability to speak tactfully about culture, about Hindustani music, about instruments, about music per se, because I perform. So I could understand what is connecting with them. And the place where it connected, I immediately grasped that opportunity.
During such a discussion, I think for sponsoring one of the programs, somebody said that if you are going to keep this artist, then I'll sanction this, and you did that. I think it was Vaijayantimala, or was it?
It was Vaijayantimala. No, it didn't happen that way. I'll put it in the perspective. We were doing Indradhanush, Vaijayanti Balaji is a great personality, a great dancer, but she was a little aged. So people felt that at this age she may not be able to do well. But I had seen her dance somewhere else just a few days before that, and I had confidence.
75, 80 that time?
Must be around. But she was absolutely, Vaijayanti Bala was Vaijayanti Bala. There was no, the age was not showing on her.
Yeah.
So I wanted desperately to have that program, but my trustees felt, no, I think you should not do it. But and it was the president's responsibility to draw the program. Others can give their opinion, but ultimately it was my decision. I went ahead with that. I went to one corporate for help, and he said, I'll give you so much if you allow me to take a photograph with Vaijayanti Mala. Because in my earlier generation, Vaijayanti Mala was a craze, and everybody desperately wanted to be photographed with her. And I said, yes, I'll get it organized. And he immediately sanctioned 3 lakhs, and we got that money. And then when the program was to happen, I was stunned that KSN had planted another thing. KSN, it was around November something, and for our wedding anniversary, KSN saw to it that Vaijayanti Mala would kind of hand over a bouquet to us. It was just thrilling. Imagine for the wedding anniversary, a personality like Vaijayanti Malaji giving us a bouquet, felicitating us. It was a thrilling time. So that happened. And Vaijayanti Mala was extremely nice to me. And I must tell you that most of the people who have come to perform in the Fine Arts Society have been extra nice to me, whether it is Hema Malini ji, whether it is Shiv Kumar Sharma ji. They've always, maybe they thought that here is one man who is very passionate about this, and he is doing it single-handedly, and he is ensuring that everything will happen. I used to talk to them frequently.
Yeah.
So they realize that I am very, very passionate, and they realize that I always mean well. In fact, sometimes I would negotiate very, very low figures for them as a remuneration.
Yeah.
Initially, they'll get furious.
Yeah.
But later on, when they realize that the amount of passion that I put into the whole thing, afterwards they will always come and compliment me that we didn't realize that such a thing would happen. So they will always kind of feel very nice about it.
This happened with Kishori Amonkar also, right? The very first time you went to meet her.
Kishori Amonkar ji was wonderful experience. She was one of the best artists that I have ever interacted with. There was, I think, V. Subramaniam was our president, and I was the vice president then. And I mooted this idea that we must have her. And they said, no, we cannot afford her. So I said, let us go and talk to her. So both of us went, V. Subramaniam, and he was also an excellent person. He was the president. He also was a performing artist. He used to play that recorder. So both of us went, and I made the suggestion to Kishori ji that we want her to come and perform at the Fine Arts Society. She of course took all the details, how big is the auditorium, whether it is really worthwhile and all that. And then she quoted a figure which was way beyond what we had thought. So I said, ताई आपण मला हे कॉफी दिलं, मी घेतो कॉफी आणि आम्ही निघतो. काय झालं काय तुला? अरे प्रोग्राम करायचं सांगितलं ना तू, काय करायचं आता? हे पटत नाही आम्हाला, इतकं काय होणार, जमणारच नाही, सोडून द्या, नंतर कधी बघू आपण. नाही ना, असं काय करतो तू? ती कॉफी घे आधी. कॉफी घेतलं. तुझा मनात काय आहे सांग. असं ताई मी सांगितलं तर चिडणार नाही ना तुम्ही? तू काय सांग, मला फ्री प्रोग्राम पाहिजे. She laughed out. I charge huge amount of money for other organizers. How can I give you the free program? Later on she said yes, but you have to pay all my accompaniments. I said we will do it. And believe me, that was one of the best programs that we have had in the Fine Arts Society.
That is the program I had to go and bring her.
Fetch her from Prabha Devi from her house and bring her to the Fine Arts Society.
That too in a taxi.
Yeah. No, our Shobha Gurutu was also there in our car. It was a Honda Civic that we went and brought her.
Laluna.
So such magical things have happened in the Fine Arts Society, and it was a thrilling. And I still continue, of course. Then I rose up to become the chairman. After Bharatan's role, after 3 terms as the president, Bharatan became the chairman. Then I became the chairman, and I demoted my office about 3-4 years ago, just before the corona happened, because we had put a clause that if you
did include that clause.
Because I wanted it to be a democratic setup. I think we should never develop any proprietary rights with anything, even your office. You're only a custodian till the time you are the boss. Then it will go on to somebody else, and that somebody else should be given complete independence to arrive at their own decisions. They must not be overwhelmed with your presence.
Yeah.
If that happens, then continuity may suffer. So with that in view, I had put a clause that if you have been a trustee for 2 terms, when you have to take a drop. So when I was a chairman, that period came and I had to take a drop. So I debuted the office. Then last year I became the trustee again. And so this journey is continuing. And like me, there are many people who have given their lives to. Janki was there, Ramesh is there, Radhika was there. Of course, present chairman Radhakrishnan has done a great job in terms of getting the CSR financial help for the Fine Arts Society. Bharadhan still continues to be our chairman emeritus. GS was the secretary when I was the chairman. A great support for all the events that I have, all the ideas that I had. He was one man who was solidly with me. So we had an excellent team. And this team always, we had a lot of fights. Not that every board of trustees meeting used to have a fight. But I always proved that what I said, I meant well. I meant it in the interest of the institution, and the institution has to grow. And with that kind of a macro level take, I felt that we must now move from an ordinary Chembur-centric institution to a national level. That dream is still unfulfilled. And believe me, I will get back. I will fulfill that dream before I leave this earth.
Okay, before all this glory and all, let's go back to the Fine Arts initial stages. What was the membership when you became secretary, or you were inducted into Fine Arts? What was the membership?
One very clear statement: Fine Arts had no money.
That is okay.
None of us had any money.
Okay.
In fact, if we had to fetch somebody from those days, people came by train.
Yeah.
I still remember the great Vidwan T.N. Seshagopalanji.
Yes.
I was asked to go and fetch him.
Correct.
He was coming by mail, which arrives at 4 o'clock. And believe me, we used to walk to the station because we didn't have the money for taxi or whatever.
Yes, correct.
Only return we will bring a taxi because we had to bring the artist.
Yeah.
So I've gone to the other station expecting the great Vidwan T.N. Seshagopalan, whom I have already met in Delhi when I was in Delhi. So I had a great impression about his singing and all that, thinking that he's a big band, he will just get on from the train royally and I'll receive him. And the train comes and goes, no sign of T.N. Seshagopalan. And I'm heartbroken. I said, I've come to receive him, he's not come. Those days you never had telephone and all that. So what do I tell the people? Because everybody is going to, evening he has to perform. Just then I realized there is one gentleman standing there with the veshti madichikattinde and with the mundas on his head, with a small pie in his side, and standing there. Suddenly I realized that it looked like Seshagopalan. So I went and asked him, are you sick? He said, yes, Ganesh Kumar, I'm waiting for you. What is this? Why are you late? So I had to tell him, sorry, I had come in time, but I didn't see you. How can I tell him that I didn't expect him the way that he was standing? But then I fetched him, I brought him to, and that day evening was a wonderful concert that he gave. So what I'm trying to say is, it was always a hand-to-mouth existence. We could not even have money to engage staff. So bulk of the work, we did it ourselves as volunteers. For example, sending notices to everybody, designing the notice. We used to be there in the office almost on a 8 hours basis, or not compromising, because it was the prime time for me in my personal growth, because I was running this large international trading company. So I had to run 2 lives simultaneously. So I had to get up early in the morning, go to Fine Arts, do the things, come to office, do everything, go back to Fine Arts, finish up everything. So it was a heavy toll on me. Imagine I have lived with that toll for almost over 30 years.
35.
And imagine the kind of energy and efforts that I have spent to bring the institution. Not that only I have done it, many people have done it, but I was definitely there for a much longer span of time.
Yes.
In the managing committee, in the trust, in the staff, in the office, wherever, with the meeting the artists, going to their houses, fetching them, doing the sound check, and after the program is over, ensure that all the members would leave safely. How many times have I dropped my members to their houses? Because I was the one who had a car. So when the program ended, I'll always find some elderly couple standing there, not finding public transport.
That was the time when auto rickshaws were, it was very difficult to get at that
And
time.
late night, people were not stopping. So I have, so many years I've dropped them. Then I have put strong lights outside our compound so that they are not inconvenienced by the darkness. I mean, I have given my life and I have enjoyed every bit of it.
So let me go back to that membership thing. I think I remember you going with 2-3 other people of Fine Arts door to door membership canvassing in those days.
I will tell you what, my first challenge in Fine Arts Society, the first job that I got formally was I was made the convener of the membership committee.
Correct.
When I say membership committee, those days the members were 200 people.
Correct.
Out of 200, 150 would not have paid subscription.
Correct.
50 would have paid subscription.
Correct.
Now you have to tally all this, and every meeting that we will have, we had one elderly person by the name Narayan, who is the grandfather of this famous actress Kalyani Natarajan. So he will come with that list and say 1988, 89, so many people have not paid, 89, 90, so many people have not paid, 1991, so many people have not paid. And endlessly we'll discuss how to get this and all that, and realize that in the next meeting the situation is the same. Nothing has changed. So that is when I decided to computerize the whole thing. Because then I'll be able to pin down who are the people who are regularly not paying.
Correct.
So we computerized, and nobody would understand what I was doing because computers were not known then.
Correct.
So everybody said Ganesh Kumar is doing something, we don't know what.
You brought the fax machine for the first time when the same thing happened.
So in fine arts, computers were not known. So everybody thought if this guy is doing something different, let him do it. If it brings success, fine. So what I did was I computerized, pointed the 100 or thereabouts members who are perennially not paying, and they are the ones who complain about your program. It has not started in time, this was not good. And I realized that these are the same members who are not paying. Then I put one man on the job and I gave him 10 addresses per day. I said, today you will go here, send me the result. If they pay, fine, take it. Otherwise, we will cancel the membership. So like that, we cleaned up the slate. And when we cleaned up the slate, CVR was very appreciative. CVR was the chairman then. So he was very appreciative. He said, Ganesh, how did you achieve it? So I explained to him the computerizing, Excel sheet and all. Nobody knew those days. So I said, I created an Excel sheet. Then I did this analysis. Then it gave me the names. Then I checked the addresses. Then sent a man, got the money. So he said, wonderful. So why don't we now increase the members? Because we have 1300 seats. So why should we get stuck to 200, 300, 400 and all that? We should look at big things. So I must say that CVR took the lead. And identified the pockets where Tamil people stayed, like Chedanagar, Garude Nagar, Swastik Park, Tilak Nagar, Subhash Nagar, Shell Colony. So like this, what he will do is he will identify one important person from that area. And then every Sunday morning we will all go pile up there, assemble there, and then take the membership admission form and start going to every house which had a column outside. Because South Indians did put a column. So wherever there was column, we know it is a Tamil, South Indian. So we will walk in, kind of a gate crash, and go announce ourselves that we are so and so, so and so. And by that time, I had become a little popular in the society because of my singing. So people kind of immediately.
This was also Shell Colony regular programs and
many places. Kantari Colony. Yeah. So South Indians kind of knew me. So we would go unannounced, fill up the form, they'll pay later. So like that, slowly the trend started. 400 became 600, 600 became 1000, 1000 became 1500. Then we introduced new kinds of membership, life member, patron member, corporate members, ordinary member. So all that, and we brought it up to, when I debuted the office, it was somewhere around 2400. Now it has dropped again. But I still remember that we brought it to that level. So there was a big surge. And also people realize that you are giving regular programs.
Yes.
And imagine Jurassic Park, we had the premier show in Fine Arts Society. Yes. We had 2 shows.
Yes.
And where is Jurassic Park, where is Fine Arts Society, where premier? But we did it. So these kind of new ideas, broad-based.
You and KSN also brought in English plays.
Yes.
Hindi plays first, then of course English.
Yeah, in the Indradhanush, in fact, the Indradhanush name was given by Kumar. Who was very close to us. So Kumar gave that new name, and it was a big team. Everybody contributed, and yes, we brought in a lot of new ideas. We brought in ghazal, we brought in dance, brought in Hema Malini ji, Pankaj Udas, Jagjit Singh ji, and English play, a lot of English plays. Sometimes people would come and no, this English play is all vulgar, don't have this, remove it. So we had to then do an audit. Then we had orchestras, we had Johnny Lever, we had Kalyanji Anandji, we had Lakshmikant Pyarelal. All kinds of things have happened in finances. Today it is a pivotal institution, a large institution, vibrating, energized with activities. But then I'll fulfill my dream of making it national.
Okay. After that membership, also you had music school. What was in the music school? Who was there? And you also built those extra rooms.
No, that is later. That is when a little before we were completing 25 years of the structure we had additional FSI. And by that time, we had collected some money. So we applied for 3 floors on the top, which is called vertical extension. So we had this space, we made a drawing or whatever, a new plan, and also went out to get money for the new structure and all that. And we managed to get the resources, and we built 3 floors, which meant an addition of almost about 10,000 square feet. And in that we built new music school rooms because we were bursting at the seams. So we made these new music school rooms, and that enabled us to touch a figure of 2,000 plus in future times. We also did a lot of workshops, short-term workshops, short-term seminars, and those kind of during the vacation time. We even brought Western music. We brought guitar, we brought keyboard.
The Western dance also somebody.
Yes, even today it is there. Brian.
Was it Shaimak Davar?
Brian. No, Shaimak Davar approached us. We told him no. Because at that time the trustees were very conservative. He said, no, we don't want all this. But a situation came that he became much more bigger. And then we were prepared then.
Correct.
But by that time he had become big.
Yeah, he became too big.
So we brought in a lot of new things, though, the Western keyboard, guitar, though it is not compatible with our system. But so long as the students learn it, and we are only facilitators. Then we also expanded the dance fraternity through association with Nalanda University. Dr. Kanak really was a good friend, and through her I got a lot of new stuff. The purchase of instruments, because you had to spend a lot of money to purchase the instruments. Maintenance of that, we had to make all those special cases to have the tambura, veena, violin and all that. And another change that I brought, which I'm very happy about, is we have this Navratri. Till that year, Navratri was always celebrated in a house. You put that golu.
Yes.
And you have all the ladies coming there, you exchange manjan, kumkum, shundal or whatever. And I suggested to CVR that why not we institutionalize this Navratri. Everybody laughed at it. They even branded me as a ladies' man, that this guy wants to have more ladies inside finance society. But I was very clear in my mind. I wanted to change drastically to bring new element into finance society, the children, the ladies. And so I still remember I held a meeting. The only 2 male members in that meeting was me and Bharatan. Rest were all ladies.
All those ladies, the ladies wing itself was started by
No, ladies wing is a subsequent thing. So Navratri was the starting point. So I invited the wives of all the trustees and the managing committee members because they were already coming for the program. So we had a start. So I held that meeting and requested CVR's wife, Anandiji, Ramadurai's wife, Vatsala Mami, Padma, Janaki, Lakshmi Kandan, Kalyani. So all these people were already there and they were doing individually in their house. So everybody knew the system. Only it was a question of institutionalizing, and we started. So the question was, how do you make it commercially viable?
Correct.
So somebody suggested we should put stalls because it is just pre-Diwali.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are going to buy a lot of things for Diwali, and so I suggested maybe we should have Golu in one place and have stalls in the other place. So everybody said yes. But when he announced it, we realized that there was no response because people will think, why stall in Wayanad? It doesn't make sense. You remember, you were the first one to put a stall.
Yes.
And you know how much business we did? 5 rupees.
Yes.
Because nobody
That
came
also
to
case and give.
not KSN, Sitaram Mama.
Sitaram
Mama brought a blouse piece because he felt so terrible that nobody walked in here. And it was a complete disaster. It was a failure of diabolical.
Navratri was not.
No. The ladies, the people didn't have that concept of coming to a Navratri and then going to a stall and buying.
Correct.
This was year 1.
Yeah.
Now 25 years when we completed, people who come to the Navratri is lesser than the people who go to the stalls.
Correct.
So it was
the stall owners book these stalls nowadays
1 year in advance. Exactly. So today the whole thing has become a huge success.
Yes.
But this starting period, I had to undergo so much of criticism, and when it failed, everybody took me to task. Everybody started speaking ill about me. कि भाई देखा ऐसा ही है. युवा शक्ति start किया, वो नहीं चलता है. नवरात्रि start किया, कोई नहीं आया. So it got branded. But in my mind, I never lost the confidence. Like that, I kept on introducing new ideas. The next idea that I tried was the Tamil drama. This also I must tell you.
Yes, I know.
So before Tamil drama, we wanted to launch. We were doing programs in the auditorium, but we also wanted to give an opportunity to the youngsters. Now, if you put a youngster in a 1300 seat auditorium, nobody is going to come. So it was very embarrassing. And at that time, we didn't have this experimental theatre. We had small rooms. So I used the concept of Aditya Sangeet. I named it Aditya Sangeet because I wanted to have Sunday mornings as the time. So Aditya, Sunday. So it will all fall in line. So when I suggested that, Kalyani Vishwanathan was very active in the music school. She said, nobody will come. And who's going to pay? So I said, you'll have to do it within 5,000. 5,000 per concert. So everybody laughed. He said, 5,000, how can you do a concert in 5,000? I said, that is all that I can afford. And then somebody, my trustees asked me, where is Wari? Who from 5,000 will come from where? So I went to Radhakrishnan. Those days he was not even a member. The one who is the chairman was not even a member. So I went to him. He was running that clear ship forwarders. So I told him, you have to sponsor this. And he said, sponsor what? His mother had expired then. So I said, sponsor it in her memory. So he said, give me a plan. So I gave a plan. Within 2 days he said yes, and we launched Aditya Sangeet. And then you imagine, where is the first Aditya Sangeet event I held? On the IOB bank is there. The mezzanine floor, they had a floor which is okay for 50 people. Vignesh, who is now a leading artist, Balu Ishwar's son, was the first concert that we did. Would people believe that he has performed for Aditya Sangeet? Today he is such a big name. But I proved that it is all possible. And 5,000 into 12, so 60,000. I got a sponsorship of 1 lakh from Clear Ship Forwarder, and we got going. The second idea was the middle level. So I went to somebody else, started the Kalavardhini series, where we could do it in the community hall for about 200 people.
When was the community hall built?
No, community was already there. It was not built. It was a part of the structure. So it was already there. We renovated it recently, but it was already there. So in fact, the very first program of Sudha Raghunathan was in the community hall. When President Venkatraman was supposed to come, he didn't come, of course, but that's where it was held. This is pre-Transworld days. Transworld had not come then. If the money the donation that they gave with which we completed the auditorium, they had not come. This is even before that. So it was done in the community hall. So this Kalavardhini was another series that I started, which today is attracting a lot of people. So that was the next successful experiment. Guru Purnima I have already told you. The recent thing was Tamil Drama Fest. When I say recent, I mean 15 years or 20 years, or I don't know.
That is, let us put it next one, what you think.
Next one. So when I said Tamil Drama in the managing committee, everybody laughed. He said, but by that time, the ladies of the Navaratri group, which did the Navaratri Gulu, had already kind of created themselves into a group, and that we converted that into ladies wing, which then was renamed as women's wing, and then was renamed into community wing, something like that. So we had a meeting in KSN's house, and we changed this whole thing. So the ladies also started getting integrated into the mainstream activity. Till that time, all the members were males. Only after that step, ladies became, in fact, Janaki was the first ever president who became a president after me. So like that, lot of ladies started taking keen interest in the activities of the society, and that's how they got inducted into the mainstream activity. So the ladies activity put a drama called Saptapati, where KSN's wife was the main role. And they created a team, and they did extremely well. The first show was held in the Bharatiya Hall at Chunabati. Now that hall is not even in existence. So that is the first place where they did it. Then KSN put a word to some Chennai-based institutions. They went to Chennai, they played. So that made me think that if we have to promote them, we need a larger bracket, a larger canvas. So I suggested the concept of Tamil dramas. Tamil dramas were already happening in the fine arts, not that it was not. We had all S.C. Shekhar, Y.G. Mahendra, almost all the big names were coming to fine arts and doing.
But they were part of some other program?
No, they were all from Chennai. I wanted to create a bracket for the Bombay-based artists, because you had people like Jai Meera, the Bombay Cultural Association, and several other groups who were wanting to do their own place, but they were not getting the opportunity. So I conceived this idea, and the first reaction was nobody will come. Maybe 10 people will come, 20 people will come. So I hit on this idea that every troupe which is going to perform will get 400 passes. So at least their people will come. Mama, Chacha, Bhai, Behan, everybody will come. So like that, the very first year when it was launched, it was a grand success. To such an extent that 10 days back when we did this year's Nadagotsavam, it was 100% attendance.
Yes.
Now everybody is appreciating what Ganesh Kumar did. But at that time, I can't tell you how much criticism I had to face. Everybody said it's a complete drain, a waste of money, nobody will come, it will be a complete flop. Who will check the script? Who will ensure that it is of worthy this thing? All these criticisms were there. But one by one, over the years, we ironed out all the differences, and today it has become. So in short, most of the ideas which are working today, at some point of time I have launched. And I only wish that the new people who come in will not only take it forward, will even build on that, and will convert this into a national institution.
Yes.
My point is, the experience center, when we went for the vertical extension, what was the experimental theatre? That also I must tell you.
Yeah.
That was the first time I got a donation of 50 lakh rupees.
Yes.
Till then, the only donor or only big donor was the transferred family, which had given about 30 lakhs or something, and that is why we named the auditorium Shivaswamy Auditorium. And then 1 year I was not the trustee, because after every 6 years you have to take a drop. Then when I was not a trustee, I think Sethuraman was the chairman or something like that. So they gave me the responsibility of large funds, CSR or whatever, and I was like a single man team. So I went to the chairman of Rashtriya Chemicals and Fertilizers was one Sri Rajan. So I went to him and asked for a 50 lakh help to complete the experimental theatre. After series of meetings, it got sanctioned. But then I told him, sir, I will not make the announcement till the time you hand over the check to me, because we are a trust and I am a lone man and I don't want to fail. So when we launched the Academy Heights, as it was called then, the Academy, RSA was a part of that, and they handed over the check of 50 lakh rupees as a CSR this thing. And I called D'Souza, who was the staff till then, who was given his life for Fine Arts Society. Yes. So I handed over the check to him as an appreciation of all that he has done. So like this, money started flowing in, and then CAR ratings was there, like that. And today,
You also did ISO for them.
yes, I think it was sometime in 96 or 97. The very first cultural institution getting ISO from Beru Veritas. It's a record.
Correct.
Nobody has done it so far. The chairman of Beru Veritas didn't have even a benchmark as to on what basis will they assess us and give the certification. We created the benchmark, and we were the first institution even before Shanmukhananda.
Yes.
And it was a record to me. And when we got it, invited Ramadurai was the chairman, and Dr. Chidambaram invited to stage. We put a big placard and opened that ISO certificate, and it was a turning point. The first time an institution got an ISO certification, and it improved our general quality, the professional satisfaction and all that.
Correct.
So fine arts is something that is very, very dear to me, very close to my heart, and like I said, still unfulfilled dreams. And if God allows me, I will complete it and show that culture is possible.
Culture is possible with our own people.
With our own people.
Without any outside help.
Absolutely, absolutely.